Our arable land has lost its fertility. It is no longer productive as it used to be without used agricultural inputs. 6 years have passed. Burundian farmers are using Fomi fertilizers, which are made from the mixture of organic manure and chemical fertilizers. These Fomi fertilizers have already demonstrated their quality by their ability to increase production, restore soil fertility, and protect biodiversity as a whole, which is also useful for crops. What makes Fomi fertilizers special? What are their constituents? Their value on production, on human health, and on arable land much devastated by acidity on a large part of Burundian soil. The factory that manufactures organomineral fertilizers, Fomi, had just spent 6 years making these fertilizers that farmers use to apply to the different crops. There is Fomi Imbura applied to all crops, Fomi Bagara applied to tubers, Fomi Totaza applied to cereals. Fomi Imbura and Totaza are also applied during weeding depending on the type of crop. Kaboneka Salvatore, university professor and researcher in soil fertilization, says that the way in which Fomi fertilizers are made allows the land devastated by acidity to restore its fertility. Crops also receive the nutrients that help them grow well and produce well.
Hariho urubuye, hakaba n'ifumbire.
Look at the soil structure. The organic part of the mineral part at the bottom. The foot is the middle, if you will. There are what you call the mixed horizons, which have the characteristics of the surface organic horizon and the depth mineral horizon. That's the structure of the soil. So, in order to bring the soil back to the way it was before man fed on these nutrients and improve it, we have to bring in these nutrients that have taken elsewhere. This is called the law of restitution, which is rarely respected. That's A. 2, it also have to bring back to reconstitute, generate the horizon to organic. So, do as God did. And how we do it? We bring the organic matter, the manure, we bring the minor elements, we put them together. Science tells us that in order for a plant to produce beyond the carbon found in carbon dioxide and the hydrogen and oxygen found in water, the plant must have access to 13 elements. There are standards. Today, 3 elements. DAP brings 2, supplemented by urea for nitrogen, to a list of 13 elements that the plant needs. It's a long way off. We are very far away. Beyond the effects that are not positive of fertilizers on the soil and on the life of the soil, 3 advanced. 2 additional elements at the Fomi level, calcium and magnesium, in response to the acidity problem, which practically exclude any availability of nutrients, from 3 to 5. So surprisingly, I have just learned on the basis of the analysis that have been carried out in European laboratory, particularly in Belgium, that finally Fomi fertilizers contain other elements that are called microelements, of which the plant does not need much because they are specific role, an enzymatic role of growth activator. What are the elements that are in Fomi? There is molybdenum. By the way, molybdenum is the element that controls the biological fixation of nitrogen in legumes, soybeans, beans, and all that. Molybdenum, sulfur, copper, zinc and copper are the most deficient elements in terms of recent microelements in Burundi. In other words, advanced from 3 elements yesterday, 5 elements today. And if the analysis are confirmed from 5 elements to 9 in Fomi, I say it's interesting step forward that we absolutely have to follow and support the ideal 13 elements. It's a process. For example, taking the case of Fomi. Fomi does not only bring NPK. Why should we consider it and compare it to DAP, urea and KCR, which provide 2 elements or 1 element? Fomi provides calcium, magnesium. Why can't we consider these elements right? So, nutrient diversity is the goal because we know how many elements the plant needs. A single element is not enough. 2 elements are not enough. 3 elements are not enough. In any case, they are less productive than 5 elements as we know them in Fomi formulations.
To properly treat the acidity of the soil, it is imperative to bring it back to its original state by giving it organomineral fertilizers. Therefore, Fomi fertilizers are made in this way, and this is what makes it unique when compared to conventional fertilizers, also called chemical fertilizers. Fomi fertilizers have more nutrients due to the fertilizer they contain.
Ideally, this DAP and urea should not be applied in the soil without being combined with lime, calcium and magnesium to reduce the residual acidity associated with these fertilizers, and to avoid adding the evil to evil by adding acidity with fertilizers to the acidity that is in the soil, I tell you, calcium magnesium is the solution. Put together is what Fomi does. Microorganisms that we don't know about and don't see are carbon. Carbon if found in organic matter. So, if you do a pure minor NPK fertilization, year after year, the plant needs carbon. You don't bring the carbon into those fertilizers. And the organism needing this carbon, you will have to look for the carbon in the organic matter. It eats the organic matter. At the same time, as the contribution of minerals, it eats until it finishes the organic matter and the carbon. And the organic matter that you know is porosity. It's the circulation of water. This is the circulation of air. This is friability. So, if its microorganism, by feeding excessively on its minerals that you have brought by purely mineral fertilization, they have consumed all the carbon in the soil and they lose all the characteristics including physical, chemical, biological. You have a compact, impermeable soil. That's the reality. Accompany these fertilizers with organic matter for the reasons I have just mentioned, but also remembering that the soil is made of organic and mineral. Copy nature, please. For the moment in Burundi, the soils are so rich, desaturated, that you have to raise the level of these different elements at the same time as you apply organic matter until the day you are back to nature and you manage nature. You apply organic matter, that will be enough.
These fertilizers, which are the pride of the farmers because of their exceptional ability to restore fertility, have been researched to achieve their caution. Researchers from Fomi Company, in collaboration with those of Isabu and the University of Burundi, have approved the nutrients contained in Fomi fertilizers. This is what you see on the Imbura Totaza or Bagara bags.
Nagomba ndamenyeshe yuko dukora ubushakashatsi turi benshi ugiwe imbere n'ikigo kijeje ubushakashatsi.
I would like to tell you that you are doing organic research in collaboration with the Institute of Agricultural Science in Burundi, Isabu, the various universities such as the University of Burundi and the other private universities that are here in Burundi and abroad. Fomi fertilizers contain a lot of mineral salts, for example, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. In addition to that, there are secondary mineral salts such as calcium, magnesium, sulfur.
Ahambavu y'ibyo hariho ibindi byunyunyu, ibyunyunyu twitwa secondaire, harimo calcium, harimo magnesium, harimo mbe na sulfur.
Fomi ifumbire ya karorero.
Ama origo elema
There are 4 trace elements already discovered. There is zinc, boron, copper, and molybdenum. Since we use manure as a raw material, we have found that this manure also contains trace elements. It is for this reason that we have thought to checking the degree of trace elements that are found in our fertilizers. We then sent samples of our fertilizer to specialized laboratories abroad, such as in Belgium. The result has been that our fertilizers contain trace elements in sufficient quantities.
An evaluation of Fomi fertilizers revealed that they contain different levels of nutrients called micronutrients contained in these fertilizers since 2019. Another aspect to be pleased about is that Fomi fertilizers are made by Burundians. This is an honor and an added value to our country, Burundi. The founder of the Fomi company has really shown that he understood the country's project to develop the agricultural sector long before.
Ntigacika Adrian yashoboye kumva imbere y'abandi benshi.
Ntigacika Adrien, who was able to understand in the first place that in agriculture policy, the first thing to do is agricultural inputs, since farming without using fertilizers is a waste of time. Very recently, I had gone to visit his factory to see the techniques he uses. We found really sufficient equipment, big machines with many pots. He explained to us that import this equipment abroad because in Burundi these machines did not exist. He told us that when he bought these machines, he bought spare parts, and it was the Burundians themselves who did their assembly here in Burundi. I think those who were with me that day saw that there are different machines that do this and that beat here and there to make fertilizers. It is very exciting. As you can see, these initiatives should be encouraged and supported. If we can find another initiators and innovators, our country can develop in a very short time.
Abantu nk'aba bagiye baboneka henshi igihugu cy'u Burundi nta misi myinshi zohera kidateye imbere.
The President of the Republic, Evariste Ndayishimiye, said that Burundians, like the one who created the Fomi company, are to be supported because they contribute to the development of the country.
Keri sitaratituka abarundi barameze imbuto zose batarinze gutabira.
In the past days, Burundians practiced all crops without fertilizers. If they ever need fertilizers, they use organic fertilizers. Even then, natural helps were numerous. We are delighted with the strong hand lent by Burundians in the agricultural sector to the point of producing organomineral fertilizers to reduce the acidity that was deteriorating our cultivar soil, which leads to production, good health of the population, respect for environment, and farmers are supplied with organomineral fertilizers on time and at affordable prices. Farmers have found a market for the disposal of their organic manure.
Aborozi nabo none basigaye baronka n'isoko bashoramwe amase y'ibitungwa vyabo kandi kare ayo mase yahora bapfa kubusa.
Farmers who have applied Fomi fertilizers are satisfied and say that production has increased and the soil has steadily restored its fertility. Even the various agricultural authorities are satisfied with Fomi fertilizers and praise them.
In the past, there were no indicator grasses of the soil fertility. For example, this herb is called ichanda. It is a grass that grows on the fertile soil. To say that these Fomi fertilizers, after their use, the soil glows helps sign of the fertility. The same is true for this urteza herb. This grass cannot grow on hard soil. Another sign of fertility. This soil that is becoming more and more permeable ichukiro. It is thanks to these foamy fertilizers that this soil becomes favorable to the growth of plants.
ino ntabire turashima yuko isubiza akanovera isi.
Rya fumbire ikozwe n'ibice bibiri, hari igice.
These fertilizers are composed of two parts, the organic part and the mineral part. So this combination makes these fertilizers very rich in mineral salts and increase agricultural production. The proof of which that on the part of farmers, the demand for supplies is increasing day by day.
Ufise akamaro n'abawurondera twabonye ko biyongereye.
Akamaro ko gukoresha ifumbire ya Fomi cyane cyane kwishwagara.
The importance of using foamy fertilizers, especially on agricultural lime, things changed because there were grasses such Ishinge. Ishinge grows on arid soil. These grasses no longer exist in our field. They have been replaced by Ichanda, Ikurasuka, Imibebe. All this shows that the acidity has disappeared.
Ivyo bisa n'ivyerekana yuko ubukarihe bwaheze.
Ifumbire y'akarorero.
Uruhara rwa Fomi muri ibi bintu byo kugwiza umwimbo ni ntangere kandi ruribonekeza.
The role of Fomi is very remarkable in agricultural production because it's true that a farmer cultivates without using these fertilizers, he does not harvest anything. There is even a case where maize plant reaches the reproductive stage without even reaching a meter in height. Otherwise, if the fertilizers have been applied, especially Fomimbura, which is the bottom fertilizers, respecting the application dosages prescribed by the agricultural technicians, the harvest must be satisfactory.
Abafundi bavyigisha abarimyi biraboneka yuko umwimbo ushobora kwiyongera.
Ya fumbire ya Fomi ndabona neza yuko isi itera ihinduka ahubwo.
With Fomi fertilizers, we see that the soil changed its shine from red to black. By comparing these two test fields, we can see very well that the harvest will not be the same. We'll harvest more in the field of Fomi than this field with conventional fertilizers.
Ifumbire ya Fomi iratuma isi itatituka.
Foamy fertilizers do not degrade the soil. That's why we like it very much. We have used conventional fertilizers alongside the foamy fertilizers because we would like to demonstrate the difference between these two types of fertilizers. Next time, we will not apply conventional fertilizers again because we have already shown the added value of foamy fertilizers. Here, for example, these corns are good.
Kuri turakengura ko turabona yuko iyo fumbire.
Really, we are satisfied. These foamy fertilizers are very important. Right now, if we don't find those fertilizers, it will become a big problem in terms of production. We congratulate Fomi because they have tried to do everything to find a way to boost production. There is an added value in relation to agricultural production from year to year. Foamy fertilizers are very useful because we see that foamy fertilizers have been used. The soil becomes permeable and resistant to drought even during the shortage of rains. You can have two fields in the same locality, but they are not resistant to drought in the same way. This is because the foamy field is more resistant in a way that one can even think that it has been watered. Foamy fertilizers are very important.
Rero ifumbire ya Fomi irafasha cyane kubijanye n'umwimbo.
Here we have used the DAP, KCR and classic urea. The floor is bare. On the other side, the floor has been restored. Most Burundians have already understood that foamy fertilizers contribute a lot to increasing production. Even foreigners are attracted to foamy fertilizers and ask for the erection of a foamy factory in their country. Let's be proud of our products Let's apply Fomi fertilizers in our field. God bless you.